look at this balancing scale. On one side, we have economic growth, a simple measure of a country's total financial output, its raw GDP. On the other side is economic development, a much broader picture that includes health, education, and human well-being. A higher GDP does not automatically guarantee a happier or healthier population. When Cambridge asks you to define economic development, like they did in the 2021 paper, they are looking for specific process markers. You need to state that it is the process by which low-income economies become high-income economies, resulting in a measurable increase in the population's overall standard of living. The examiner reports strictly warn against writing circular answers, like development is the development of an economy. To secure your marks, you must replace that vague phrasing with tangible indicators: improvements in healthcare, increased access to education, and rising HDI. True economic development requires looking past the raw money a nation generates. It requires identifying the exact societal mechanisms that translate that financial output into measurable human welfare. Let's test this with a multiple-choice question from the 2022 paper. The question asks, what would not explain changes in a country's Human Development Index over a 2-year period? The options are an increase in gender equality, income per head, life expectancy, or years of schooling. Pause the video here. Decide which of these 4 options is not a strict mathematical component of the HDI calculation. The correct answer is A. Income per head, life expectancy, and years of schooling form the exact 3-part mathematical formula used to calculate the HDI. Gender equality is a crucial societal goal, but it is entirely excluded from this specific calculation. Cambridge examiners frequently use these types of questions to test the precise boundaries of economic formulas. Relying on generalized assumptions about what makes a good society will trap you and cost you marks. This brings us to a crucial 2-mark question from 2024, explaining why real GDP per head is a superior indicator of living standards compared to total GDP. We have to adjust the raw data in 2 specific ways. Real means we turn the dial to adjust for inflation. Per head means we turn the second dial to adjust for the size of the population. Locking in these 2 adjustments gives us a much clearer picture of average income. It reveals the actual purchasing power of an individual, determining whether they can consistently buy basic necessities and improve their material well-being. We apply this directly to a 2024 6-mark analysis question on how growth in the tertiary sector increases living standards. To get full marks, build a step-by-step logic chain. Start at the source. Expanding service jobs in the tertiary sector operate with high productivity. This directly leads to higher wages for workers. We then link those higher wages to the next effect. Increased income allows workers to afford better healthcare and pursue higher education, successfully reducing poverty levels across the population. We complete the argument by looking at the working environment itself. Service jobs typically offer safer, less physically demanding working conditions, resulting in fewer accidents. Furthermore, the tertiary sector generates significantly less environmental pollution than heavy manufacturing. Mastering these specific logic chains is how you secure full marks in Paper 2. Connect macroeconomic shifts, like sector growth, directly to tangible impacts on human daily life. The structural logic is exactly what you need for an 8-mark discussion question. Look at this balance sheet representing a recent 2024 question on whether people in high GDP countries actually enjoy higher living standards. We must evaluate both sides of the argument. On the positive side, high national output correlates with lower unemployment. The increased purchasing power and higher government tax revenues allow citizens to enjoy a better standard of housing, greater quality consumer goods, and improved healthcare systems that increase life expectancy. However, we must flip the argument. A high total GDP does not guarantee a high GDP per head. If a country has a massive population, that national wealth is spread incredibly thin, leaving the average individual income and their living standards very low. We also have to account for the negative externalities of chasing high production. Achieving a high GDP often results in severe pollution, traffic congestion, heavily stressed workers, and a highly uneven distribution of wealth where severe poverty still exists. Before your exam, review this final checklist of common pitfalls. Do not state that economic growth is the exact same thing as economic development. And remember that GDP is a flawed metric because it completely ignores the informal, self-sufficient subsistence economy, where food is grown for personal consumption. True economic mastery requires looking beyond the raw numerical output to evaluate exactly how wealth is distributed and experienced by the population.
This explainer was brought to you by Fundoo Tutor. Fundoo Tutor is a personalized learning platform that helps students succeed in Cambridge, IB, and other international curriculums with expert mentorship, structured learning support, and engaging resources.